Scramblers are a strange beast. I mean, they just look like a street bike from a bygone era with a set of knobbies thrown on, and essentially they are. I mean, back in the day, everyday punters like you and me used to modify their street bikes to make them more off-road capable. Hell, they even used to race them. Take this Royal Enfield Bear 650. Hell, it's pretty much an Interceptor 650. It even says it on the side here, Interceptor Bear 650. But Royal Enfield have gone and done all the modifying for us.
They've gone and beefed up the suspension by adding shower, separate function big piston forks and rear shocks with adjustable preload. The wheels have been changed to spoked rims with dual sport tyres. The rear subframe has been modified and they've changed the seat to make it more scrambly. The bars are wider and the exhaust has been changed. It's now a 2-into-1 system that tucks away so it gives the bike more clearance, plus it looks pretty cool.
In many ways, scramblers have been usurped by adventure bikes, and I get it. Adventure bikes are just so versatile. But after riding the Bear 650 through all manner of terrain, I'm urging you to reconsider and think, do I really need an adventure bike? Because this is really bloody good.
We're committed.
Let's start off with the design and build quality of the Bear 650. The build quality is very good. It's not, you know, a BMW GS 1300, but it's also less than a third of the price. The quality all round is very good. Some people might not like this switchgear. It's very old-fashioned style from a bygone era, and along with the levers too, but they are good quality. The paintwork as well, it gleams, it's got a nice metallic finish to it. I think it looks fantastic. Also the bike itself, I think it's gorgeous. Of all the bikes I've had to review, I haven't had as many comments on how good looking a motorcycle is than this one. I've had tons of people coming up to me asking whose bike is that and asking me questions about it. It's a real head turner. So if you care about that kind of thing, this is a great looking bike. Feature wise, it's a pretty bare bones bike, but has everything you need. One thing definitely worth mentioning is it has switchable ABS. That means you can turn the rear ABS off. So if you want to be silly off-road or on it, you can turn off the rear ABS. Has a fantastic tripper dash. I love the job Royal Enfield have done with this dash. It's clear, easy to read, and has all the information you could ever want. The levers are adjustable, both the brake and clutch levers, and you can remove the rubber from the foot pegs if you want to. Riding off-road, I never thought I needed to, but the option is there. I'll get this out of the way first. I think the motor is absolutely fantastic. Royal Enfield have done a great job. You can lug on it, you can rev it out. It does flatten out up top. At the end of the day, it is a restricted motorcycle in that learners can use it and people on their restricted licenses, so it doesn't keep pulling, but it has a lot of torque, it lugs, and it cruises on the highway.
See how it rolls on, 4th gear. Mate, that's beautiful. Super smooth.
Fueling wise, it is a little bit soft off bottom initially. You do get used to it just the first ride. You might be like, oh, wow, okay, I just need to rev it a little bit more to take off at the lights. The clutch action is fine. I will say, if you're a lunatic like me and you like to do wheelies and stuff, it's got a strange feel. If you want to clutch it up, sometimes it likes it, sometimes it doesn't. But in normal use, the clutch is fine. Maybe a little bit heavy for some people. Sound wise, it is a great sounding bike. Air cooled, old school, just has a great thrum to it, and the feel of the bike as well. It feels absolutely fantastic. Fuel economy wise, it's a very economical motorcycle. For cruising to and from work, doing mountain runs and back roads, extremely economical. If you are sitting at highway speeds, probably above highway speeds, you can see the economy go up. It doesn't like doing that, but also that's not the kind of motorcycle this is. To me, this is a bike you ride to and from work, back roads, dirt roads here and there, and getting to campsites. For doing that kind of stuff, the fuel economy is very good.
The motor on this is so good. It really is. It do so much with it. Flexible, it flattens it up top, but it's super torquey and playful. A lot of fun. Great feeling too. A little bit soft at the bottom initially, after that, perfect.
At the front, we have shower separate function big piston forks, and at the rear, twin shocks that are adjustable for preload. The bike is set up quite sporty, it's quite firm, and it feels fantastic on the street. It's surprising how hard you can actually ride this through the mountains and twisties. I really like the forks, they're set up well. The rear, I don't like the shocks at all. I have added some preload into them, and that has helped. However, they're quite jarring, even over small bumps. They really boot you in the arse a bit. Then on bigger bits, it feels like you're being penetrated. They are quite aggressive. A lot of people have been replacing them with something like the YSS shocks. If I was to keep the bike long term, I would look at doing that. The fronts are very good on the street. When you get off road, you do have to slow down quite a lot. It's set up like a street bike, if I'm honest. When you're off-road, any bigger hits, it will not take and blows straight through the front forks, and the rear is just too harsh and can't handle it. As a street bike, I think it's very, very good. And it's great that they've added the preload into the rear. If you got a partner on the back or something like that, add a bit more preload, or if you're carrying a little bit of luggage, you can do that too. So overall, I think the forks are quite good. Very good on the street, in fact. Off-road, they're definitely a compromise. The rear, see what you think of them. They are harsh, and I think they could definitely do with an upgrade. As a street bike, I think this is absolutely fantastic. It is a great street bike. I've been riding it to and from work and did a couple of bigger rides as well. I love riding this bike around. The engine, super smooth, flexible. It's got a great wave of torque, so it's still a bit fun. You can sneak in between traffic, no issues at all. And it handles great. As soon as I got on this bike, everything just fell into place with me, and there's not many bikes where that has happened. I really like the handling and how it's all laid out. It's just a great feeling bike. And in the corners, you can ride this thing surprisingly hard. Go up into the mountains, you can really scratch on this thing. It's an absolute blast on the street. When I found out I was getting the Bear 650, I knew the first thing I had to do was take this thing off-road, and that's what I did. And I have to say, when I first got off-road, I was like, what have I done? This is not very good at all. It really is just a street bike with some off-road pretensions. The standing position is super awkward to begin with. There's nowhere really to grab with your legs, and you got to crouch right down to get over the bike. And there isn't a lot of clearance, there's no engine protection. It's a bit daunting, but once you get in the swing of things, it's actually not too bad. You're just gonna slow down a bit, really pick your lines. And I found I had an absolute blast. It's also surprising where you can take this bike. If it had a better set of tires and some protection underneath, you could do some silly stuff on it if you really wanted to. Is it an off-road bike? No, not really. It's not a great off-road bike, but it can take you places. I will say this, I did another longer ride where I rode in more appropriate places, B roads, twisties, highway sections, long dirt sections. That was just easy dirt, and I had an absolute blast. It's really suited to that type of riding.
I find budget bikes usually have crap brakes, not the Bear. The Bi-Breeze on the 650 are tops. They are strong and have good feel. The bike is well balanced and has a low center of gravity. This makes it great to ride at low speeds and makes changes of direction easy. The tyres are surprisingly good on the street. You can push them hard in the twisties. No doubt this is helped by the great handling. They aren't too bad in the wet either. As good as the tyres are on the street, they are no good off-road. I'd change them out if you're spending much time in the dirt or you just want something that doesn't cause your ass to pucker every 3 meters. I've already mentioned I don't like the rear shocks, and they are made to feel worse by the seat. It is quite firm and could use some more cushioning. It's good for around town and shorter rides, not so much on longer rides. I've had a couple of electrical gremlins. There have been numerous occasions where I haven't been able to turn off the ABS. I've found the only fix is to cycle the ignition. I've also had this same problem on the Himalayan 450. Another issue is the dash just wouldn't display the kilometers remaining, or it would just say a random small number like 12 kilometers left, even though I had a full tank. It's a minor problem, but it's still a problem. On one occasion, I ran out of fuel on the way home. I stopped on the side of the road, sloshed the fuel tank around, and thankfully it fired back up. I stopped at the next fuel station and only got 11.7 litres in, 2 litres short of the quoted 13.7 litre tank size. Maybe it was a once-off, maybe the fuel pump on the Bear is massive, or the fuel tank doesn't use all the available space. It depends on the riding you do, but if you're into exploring, another litre or 2 would be appreciated.
I mentioned earlier that if you're thinking about getting an adventure bike, to reconsider. Look, if your idea of adventure bike riding is riding off-road a lot and doing a lot of touring, still buy an adventure bike. They are way better off-road and better over long distances. But if your idea of an adventure is chucking some soft luggage on the back, or a backpack or a tent, going on back roads, easy dirt and fire trails, definitely look at this bike. I think it's an extremely good option. If you just like the style of the bike and you're only riding on the street, I highly recommend this bike. It is a fantastic road bike. It looks great, sounds great, and it's cheap to own and run. All right, everyone, if you haven't, make sure you click that subscribe button, check out my other content, and keep it on the back wheel. Catches.